reasons that prayer's not answered. There are three reasons that prayers are not answered. The first is Mark chapter 9, verse 17 through 26, I think. Yeah, 26. And one of the multitude answered and said, Master, I have brought unto thee my son, which has a dumb spirit, and wheresoever he taketh him, he teareth him and foameth and gnasheth with his teeth, and pinnest away. And I spoke to thy disciples that they should cast him out, and they could not. He answered him and says, O faithless generation, how long shall I be with you? How long shall I suffer you? Bring him unto me. And they brought him unto him. And when he saw him, straightway the spirit tare him, and he fell on the ground and wallowed foaming. And he asked his father, How long is it ago since this came unto him? And he said, Of a child. And oftentimes it has cast him into the fire and into the waters to destroy him. But if thou canst do anything, notice he said, if thou canst. Other words, he had doubt. If thou canst do anything, have compassion on us and help us. Jesus said unto him, If thou canst believe, all things are possible to him that believeth. And straightway the father of the child cried out and said with tears, Lord, I believe. Help thou mine unbelief. When Jesus saw that the people came running together, he rebuked the foul spirit, saying unto him, Thou dumb and deaf spirit, I charge thee, come out of him, and enter no more into him. And the spirit cried and rent him sore, and came out of him, and he was as one dead, insomuch that many said, He is dead. Another reason that prayer is often not answered is because of lack of praise. Luke chapter 17. verse 11. Starting at verse 11. And it came to pass, as he went to Jerusalem, that he passed through the midst of Samaria and Galilee. And as he entered into a certain village, there met him 10 men that were lepers, which stood afar off. And they lifted up their voices and said, Jesus, Master, have mercy on us. And when he saw them, he said unto them, Go show yourselves unto the priest. And it came to pass that as they went, they were cleansed. And one of them, when he saw that he was healed, turned back and with a loud voice glorified God and fell down on his face at his feet, giving him thanks. And he was a Samaritan. And Jesus answering said, Were there not 10 cleansed? But where the 9? There are not found that returned to give glory to God, save this stranger. And he said unto him, Arise, go thy way. Thy faith has made thee whole. Now, there's a difference between being healed and being made whole. The ones that was healed, they were healed of the leprosy. Leprosy is a flesh-eating disease that eats at the skin. Now, those 10, all 10 of them was healed so that it wouldn't eat at their skin anymore. But only one was restored from what had already been eaten by the disease. He was made whole because he glorified God. We see it oftentimes. People will get healed, and then the very next day, they will end up in the same shape they was in. Sometimes they'll lose faith, that's true. But another reason is some of them do not give glory to God that they was healed in the first place. And so it comes back on them. The third reason that prayer is not answered is because it's not God's will. But I must say this with caution. Because sometimes, even if prayer is not God's will, if we keep seeking it, God will still answer it. One case, I'm going to zip through this because it's 2 chapters. It's Isaiah chapter 38 and 39. We read of Hezekiah. God sent Isaiah with a word of the Lord to Hezekiah that he was going to die. And it was God's will that he die then. But Hezekiah did not want to die. So he prayed that God extend his life. And God gave him 15 years. 15 years, God extended his life because he prayed. But during those 15 years, Hezekiah turned his back on the Lord. He showed the Babylonians the temple treasures. He wasn't supposed to do that. During those 10 years, he also had a son named Manasseh, who was one of the wickedest kings that they had. God knew that. And so he was going to take Hezekiah's life before that happened. But because Hezekiah sought God that he would live 15 more years, God gave him another 15 years, even though it wasn't his will. That's all I got.